Hello.
Since we are selling my mom's house, as you can see, we thought we would share with you her native gardens, and I'm going to give you a little tour walking around the house to see all the native plants that my mom planted.
So we're starting in the front on the lawn in a spot where 45 years ago when we moved into the house, there were just some nice, neat little evergreen bushes. And somewhere along the line, I learned that native plants are so much better for the environment. You know, you don't need the pesticides and fertilizers, and nature has arranged it, not I. So
Okay.
we'll start here with purple cone flowers. That's
Native to
everybody
Illinois.
knows that as a native prairie plant in the
Okay.
Midwest.
What else we got?
Next to that, another one. These are the lilies, day lilies or tiger lilies, people call them, and they like to bloom alongside the cone flowers. And in the back of this little area, you see some things I planted. These are a variety of sunflowers, black-eyed Susans, also known as rudbeckia. And I have planted some bee balm here to attract bees and butterflies because we need pollinators in order to keep our crops going. And next to that, we've got a real favorite of everybody. It's called big blue stem, and that is a native prairie grass that used to grow all over the Midwest in the natural prairies. But something else came here, and I don't know what it is yet. I haven't taken it out because there are bees all over it, and that's what I'm aiming for, bees. So I won't take it out until I find out more. Here we have something called swamp milkweed. And I know you already know that milkweed is the only plant that the monarch butterfly lays eggs on. So everybody's planting milkweed now because we need to increase the monarch population. We don't want to lose that beautiful creature. Down in front, I just put some lantana, which is an annual, not a perennial, just because it's beautiful and it attracts more pollinators.
Okay, well let's walk around the side of the house, and
Okay.
I think you're in for a surprise.
This side of the property has traditionally been quite wet, and so at one time I
Woo!
got somebody to help me and planted water-loving plants. They just suck up the water and help out a lot with that drainage problem.
And they
the
have
wet
deep
problem.
roots, really deep roots.
Very deep roots.
And then how often do you have to water these plants?
I don't water them.
Oh,
They,
nice.
They have these deep roots, 6-8 feet long, so they reach for the water that's way down there if you don't give them water.
So easy to take care of.
When I plant them, yes, then I give them water, of course,
Yeah.
until they get going. So,
course.
we're in a sea of sea oats here. It doesn't sound like a native Illinois or a native Midwestern plant, but it is. And I think it's called sea oats because it looks like a sea, and looks like oats hanging off. It looks like actual oats, kind of. All right. By the way, some people call these river oats. All right, we keep going, and here we have some more black-eyed Susans. These planted themselves.
And we got a little path here too.
I have a path here, but you don't see it now this time of summer because of all the stuff that's grown up. There are a lot of things in here. In the spring, the trillium comes up, and the wild geraniums, and it's so pretty. And then other things come in and take over. This tree I planted a couple years ago because I wanted a native to North America, and it is going to be beautiful. It's a couple years old now.
We'll have to come visit it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. All right, and then over in here we have more black chokeberries. They tend to spread, so I probably should do something about that. cut them back a little.
Okay,
I'm
well,
still walking.
we're moving into
walking.
the backyard here,
We're in the
and
backyard.
wow, look how tall these brown-eyed Susans, or are they black-eyed Susans?
Black-eyed Susans.
Okay, so
Oh, some of them planted themselves. Actually, they started with a couple of plants from my daughter-in-law, Monica, who had extra. Yeah, and then they spread. So they've been there for maybe 5 years. They get around.
what else do we have? Oh, I
And
love this.
here, these I planted. This is called Queen of the Prairie.
I love
It loves water, and this is kind of a wet corner, so these plants are helping me out here. Look how pretty the leaf is on that.
absorbing water.
That's a native Queen of the Prairie. Isn't that a beautiful name? And then
Yes,
back
Queen of the
here,
Prairie.
A different kind of a name, another water-sucking plant called Joe Pye weed. Yeah, Joe Pye spreads too.
All right, what else
this
do
is
we
a
have?
little bit wild. Okay, then we have some more tiger lilies. We have some more things I should pull out. Oh, here and there you do see hostas. That's because they've been given to me. They're not native, but they look so pretty with the native plants.
No
So,
one's judging you.
I like them. Well, thank you. Okay, I have a lot of this. Very
Our
wonderful.
friend, the milkweed.
This is the common milkweed. I showed you in front the swamp milkweed. There are several varieties, and the monarchs, as far as I have heard, love them all. So I look at here often, and there's an egg. This is I believe that's an egg right there. See?
Oh.
And on some leaves, sometimes you get several eggs. They are always on the underside. There's another. So you can, if you look in there, you see a lot of milkweed. Other things have grown up around it. This is a wild Illinois prairie rose bush.
Oh.
The flowers are gone now. It only flowers in the early spring and smells very, very fragrant. And I got just a couple of pots of these several years ago at the Arboretum for their spring sale, and now that's all over. And I didn't have to let it do that, but it looks really pretty and it fills everything in. And I don't very often pull them out.
Okay, so now we're
Back
coming up
here.
to something pretty cool here. Friendship Path made this sign. Isn't that cool? Actually, you can find his work on Etsy.
There's another little path.
I think I'm gonna take this path.
Oh,
I'm gonna
be careful.
take our viewers with us. We got another pretty little flower.
Call the National Guard if you don't come.
Oh, maybe. Look at this. It's our compost. Kind of hidden back here. We just dump our vegetable and our fruit waste in here, and then we turn it with a pitchfork once a month, and this reduces our food waste in the landfill. And look, you can't even see it. What did you use that compost on? What plants did you use that?
I used it here and there, and especially in that large area. I was trying to make into an area to practice permaculture. These are more of the black-eyed Susans, Rudbeckia hirta, I think. This is a nice little bush. I wish I had bought 3 instead of 1. This is called a button bush. It also sucks up a lot of water. And then it gets these little flowers. Look, it's lost all of its petals now,
Aw.
just in the last couple of days. But the flowers look like buttons. They're just perfectly round. Well, look at the deck with all
okay.
with
Yeah.
all the tiger lilies around. Isn't it
Yeah,
pretty?
that's really pretty.
And that one big bush there, that is a native shrub of the prairie in Illinois, and it's called a spice bush. And if you take a leaf and rub your hands on it, it smells like citrus, kind of, or citron. And that bush helps a lot, defending us against mosquitoes.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Here we go.
one more
All
little
right.
path to go. This one's a little bit,
Watch your step,
yeah,
everybody.
a little bit more challenging
Well, there's
to
a
get through.
hose coming out of my rain barrels.
Yeah, this hose is what's used to, Carol uses to water from the rain barrels. So,
Yeah.
what kinds of things do you water?
Well, anything near the deck here, or close by this side.
But not
of the
everything
deck.
that you've shown
No,
us.
because I don't have a hose that long.
Yeah, and the native plants, so you don't really have
Right,
to water
you
them that
don't
much.
have to water. I mean, the main reason that we put these rain barrels at first is because our water rolls off to the neighbor's property, and the rain barrels catch it, and then the hose takes it out. Whenever there's a heavy rain, I unroll the hose to the middle of our yard, and then that's where the water is deposited during a heavy rain.
Cool.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Careful.
Woo!
Now look how pretty this is a different variety of black-eyed Susans. Look how cute they are. They're little.
Yeah.
And these totally planted themselves. I mean, this past spring, this year, I had a hedge of like prickly evergreen all along this side of the house. And so I took them out, and before I knew it, I took them out because they were dying. Before I knew it, all of these things planted themselves, all by themselves. So you could take a little swim.
Swimming, yep.
And here
Ooh,
we
there's a
go.
bee. Hi there. We come in peace.
Is it a bee?
Yeah.
Oh. And
What do your neighbors think of all this?
I think, well, I think they like it.
Judging by this big fence, they
I
love
mean,
it.
some love it. People who bought the house, who are buying the house,
Yeah.
say they love it. And
I love it.
it's better for the environment if you use the plants that evolved for this environment.
Maybe they're even more native to this area in Illinois than you or me.
Yes, because I come from Detroit.
Oh.
Where do you come from?
Hinsdale Hospital.
Oh, that's right. All right, now these, I believe, are New England asters. They are native prairie plants. I think that's what these are. I remember correctly. See, they haven't bloomed yet. They're going to. But behind them, you see some more purple
I
cone
love
flowers.
these.
Yeah,
My favorites.
you know, you don't really have to do much to get those to grow.
Hmm.
And then this tree I planted a couple years ago. It's called an ironwood tree, and it is native to Illinois. And it's really got filled out in the last couple of years. My idea is when it gets big enough, it's going to produce shade to help the living room stay cool when the southern sun hits it. I mean, I do have the awnings also. So, and I'm not complaining about the southern sun because that's what gives my solar panels up there.
Ooh,
all
I'm
their
glad you mentioned
power.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
so
some solar
my
panels
house,
there.
that's the beautiful thing about facing
Yeah.
south. Then you plant your trees to shade it to shade your living room or whatever in the summer. And then make sure it's a deciduous tree because then the leaves drop off. And in the winter, it's just a skeleton of a tree so that sun coming from the south actually heats your living room
Yeah.
or whatever rooms are facing south.
Yeah.
And so this is called passive solar energy, using trees in that way. Passive heating, passive
Solar something. We'll find out.
passive HVAC. Okay. Then we
Okay.
have a pretty little prairie sedge, I think it is. And we have more
So why didn't
swamp milkweed, and we have been seeing monarch butterflies lately.
why don't you just have the whole lawn covered in this array of native
well,
plants?
It has become bigger because I've made it larger than it was. This part was just a big round area where a gigantic pine tree stood. So I think it was a white pine, but it died finally at something like 48 years of age. And
I used to play under that pine tree.
You did, yeah. Yeah, it was a good hiding place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And anyway, so all the needles it dropped in those 50 years made this so fertile that's why everything is so big here. Whatever I put in here just went, rah. So we've got this, another plant that my daughter-in-law Monica brought over. She said, here, I have some extra false indigo, I think it is. False indigo, that's another native plant.
I love this one.
And look how pretty it is. And it does get flowers in the spring, but they're gone already. But still,
But it's so pretty
the
even without
leaves are
flowers.
pretty. Yeah. And then here we have catmint. That is native. Catmint. There's 3, 4 big plants, and they just went crazy. And then we've got rosemary in there, which is not in the right place. It didn't get enough sun this year. Last year the rosemary was very tall. Oh, and look at this. Some basil at Trader Joe and stuck it in the ground, and it's just very
Yeah,
happy.
I told Noelle to get some basil for the meal I was making the other day, and she accidentally got the catmint, and we were eating it, and we were like, something's funny.
Smell it. Can you smell it?
Yeah, it smells so good.
Okay, this is some kind of grass. I'm not sure, but I think it's a native something. Maybe Canadian. Oh, I bet it's Canadian rye, because I've got some of that over there. It might have blown in. And then more and more of these black-eyed Susans. And wow, there's even some more milkweed in here.
Oh my gosh.
It's all getting mixed up.
Yeah.
And this wasn't that. Really cute. Look at those leaves. I think that might be wild ginger, but I have to look it up.
It's ground covering.
It is a ground cover, yeah. Okay, so,
Thank you for showing us your garden, Mom.
well, thanks for coming to look.
And
I appreciate it.
thank you for watching Carol's Native Plants.